you to help me with a word. What was it? Depression. So as we were praying, moving around, and I just really, the Lord quickened in me. And he said, in the kingdom, where depression shouldn't even be named, but in the kingdom, he said, most depression is birthed out of disillusionment. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And so, when the Lord is kind of dealing with me, and I got my books, my dictionary, Google, say Google. Google. Amen. That's good for, just other than trying to find out who Snapchatted what, And I looked that up and looked up the definition, and it was interesting that the root word for disillusionment, or to be disillusioned, is illusion. And the Lord said, what people do in ministry is they imagine a ministry, they imagine doing something, they imagine going somewhere, being something. And then they bring me the thing they imagine and say, Lord, bring this to pass, make this happen. And the Lord said, I want you to call your brother and remind him that it's not my responsibility to bring to pass the thing he imagined.
Amen.
Amen.
Great word.
And because it's not coming to pass, he's depressed. Because ministry is not what I thought it would be. I'm preaching so good. This is really good. And so I thought, like maybe somebody here is thinking Ephesians 3:20. Right? Now unto him who was able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or think. Okay, according to the power that worketh. You know what power that's at work in you? It's the power that conforms your mind to his mind. It's a power that controls your imagination. And so I don't imagine what I want. He gives birth to what he wants in me. And that's what I imagine. And he is obligated to bring that to pass because that's birth from him. Boy, this is so good. Are you okay? And so if you're depressed, what have you been imagining? Do you understand? You have to get that. And so I have to submit all of me to God, right? As I submit me to God, then God will get in my will. He'll get in my desire. He'll alter that thing. When Paul is inspired to write to the Romans in Romans 8 that God is conforming us to the image of his son, he means it in totality. In totality. One evening, and it was the evening before a very, very rough day, right? Jesus said, is there any way that this could pass from me? Could we do this any other way? And what Jesus, I believe, heard from heaven was crickets. God ain't saying nothing. There's no place, you can't read in any text where God responded to the question. Right? He didn't respond to the question. At least it's not written. They don't write it. They don't record it. And then Jesus says, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. That when God is conforming us to the image of Jesus, he's conforming my will. He's conforming my imagination. That I only imagine in him the things that he's imagining. Are we okay? Philippians chapter 2, King James Version says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Other translations and paraphrases say to us that there is a mind. The mind of Christ is available to us. Let somebody say, if you want it.
If you want it.
That's Janet, that's the caveat. It's not, I wish I had somebody young up here. I want to grab somebody by the head and just start mashing their head. No, I'm not going to do that to you. No, that's not what God doesn't take the mind of Christ and just try to push it in your ears and up your nose canal. He doesn't do that. but it is available for us, right?
Amen.
Yet one way, Romans chapter 12, verse number 1, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Verse number 2, be not conformed to this world, but be what? Transformed by the renewing of your mind. What renews the mind? It's the word that renews the mind. Amen. It is the logos that renews, not the rhema now. It's the logos that renews the mind. Yeah. Logos, one modern day lexicographer defined the logos as the divine directives of God. Yeah. They're divine directives and they're written. They don't change. Amen. They ain't going nowhere. Yeah. That book, that's our life. Amen. Those divine directives renew my mind. Yeah. And as my mind is renewed, as I take on the mind of Christ, oh my gosh, then I can put on display the genius of God. Can you throw up Ephesians 3:10? You can pick a ESV. Let's do ESV. Okay, so here we go. So that through the church, everybody say the church. The church. It's just not New Bethel. There's this term, Catholic. It's the church Catholic or the church universal. That's really what the word Catholic means, universal. It's the church universal. But understand that it's the church that the kingdom has given birth to. It's the church that the kingdom of heaven has given birth to. There are other churches out there. Amen. Amen. That's why Jesus said when he comes, he's going to take a church out of. Oh, sweet Jesus. Here we are. Okay? So that through the church, the manifold wisdom of God. One 21st century hermeneutical guy, he defines the manifold wisdom of God as the genius of God. Look at creation. And God has selected you and I and put us together with all of our differences. And says, I am going to use you to show the kingdom of the world and the kingdom of darkness that I'm a genius. Amen. And the kingdom of darkness said, no, because we're going to show you that they won't come together because of their differences. Right? And we see it first with the Jew and the Gentile. I mean, we saw it even before then. We saw when God called the people out, when he called out the Hebrew nation. We see it. And the kingdom of the world, the kingdom of darkness says, because they're different, they can't come together and show your genius. And here we are, white, black, young, old, right? Multilingual. Some of us, we don't even really know one language really well. And here we are all together, cultural differences aside, ethnicity aside, marching under one banner, the bloodstained banner. And we show principalities and darkness and powers and wickedness everywhere that God is a stone cold genius. Amen. Good word. He's a genius. He's a genius. He took Jew and Gentile, put them together, and made for himself a new man. He's a genius. And we give him glory. We put his genius on display when we come together. And we're sensitive to one another. See, you can't just come and be sensitive to God. Right. That's right. Amen. We miss. That's a swing and a miss. When we come, yes, I'm sensitive to God, but I show you how sensitive I am to God by how sensitive I am to you. Amen. Great word. He's a genius. He's a genius. He's a genius. He's a genius. And we have all of these things going on in the same room at the same time. And you come in, you haven't told anybody your business. Nobody knows what's going on with you. But somebody will just walk up behind us and says, I love you. I'm so glad you're here today. Praise God for you. I'll minister to somebody. Okay, and so remember, I'll go back to a passage, and I'm done now. We talked about earlier, a few weeks ago maybe, Luke Luke 1, where the angel of the Lord is talking to Mary. And he says, nothing shall be impossible. 37. Now you got to remember who's saying this. I can't say this way. The God we're talking about, this dude is a genius, okay? And he says, nothing is impossible. For nothing will be impossible with God. Nothing will be impossible with God. And so when you do a little work on the word nothing, okay, of course you get the prefix, and it's what do you call it? A compound word. Okay, right? Compound word. The dichotomy here is no thing. No thing. That's the compound. No thing. No is no. Right? But thing, when you do a little study on the word thing, you study, and all of a sudden there's a word, an interesting word that pops up, and it's the word rhema. No, listen. No rhema will be impossible with God. You don't have to take my word for it. The word rhema is there for thing. No rhema shall be impossible with God. Now, a lot of times when definitions, because sometimes we're I don't want to say lazy. I want to say sometimes in our study we're a little less enthusiastic than we should. How did I fix it up? Sometimes we're a little less enthusiastic than we should be. And you know that all of Scripture is self-interpretive? We just don't stay in it long enough to get the interpretation. It is self-interpretive, right? Yep. One testament is the other testament. Revealed. Right? Revealed. The other testament is the other testament concealed. Right? Really. The Old Testament is the New Testament concealed. The New Testament is the Old Testament revealed. Amen. And we see the love of God. And we thought that in the Old Testament, God was just a God of lightning bolts and hammers. Right? Hack and smash. No! He was a God of love. And the New Testament is the revelation of the love of God that we read about in the Old Testament. Amen. That's right. I feel like I'm working too hard. Are you okay? No rhema. No rhema. Now you've got to understand about we don't have time. The difference between logos and rhema, right? Written, divinely directed word versus a divinely inspired word. One comes out of the other. They are not separate. You can't tell me I got a word from the Lord for you and it don't have nothing, it don't no roots in the Scripture. Amen. I'm sorry, that's not a rhema. You wrong, and I'm gonna stop you. Amen. Amen. That's where it comes from. It comes from the rhema and from the logos. And the rhema never contradicts the logos. Never contradicts the logos. And so when you talk about I have a word for you, that better be divinely inspired. It has to be divinely inspired. That which God divinely inspires, He stands behind. Yes. We okay? Yep. I wish we don't have time to really pull that apart and talk about definitions of logos and definitions of rhema and how to know we're in the flow of God and receiving a divinely inspired word of God. Otherwise, you're sharing Scripture, right? You're sharing Scripture. Remember the prophet. Who was it who went to Hezekiah? Was it Isaiah? Who went to Hezekiah? Was it Isaiah or Jeremiah? It might have been Isaiah, I believe. And God gave him a word. Go tell Hezekiah, get his house in order. Yes, sir. Because he's going to die. And Isaiah gets there, and Hezekiah has a fit. Isaiah leaves, and God says, go back and tell him, I'm going to give him, how many more years did he give him? 14 or 15 years? How many, 15? 15. Yeah, he got in trouble in those 15 years, though. Didn't he get in trouble? Y'all know the story? Right. Yeah, he got in trouble. The folks from Babylon came, and Hezekiah thought he was doing good, and he showed the Babylonians everything that was in the kingdom. This is our money, here's our gold, here's our silver, here's our precious treasures, here's my bank account number. I mean, he just gave them everything. He showed them everything. And Isaiah's coming up the path as the Babylonian envoy is leaving. And Isaiah's, this dude did 15 more years and made a mess. And he went to Hezekiah and said, what did you do? And he said, well, I entreated them. I showed them everything. Isaiah said, boy, you messed up. You have messed up. But Isaiah heard a divinely inspired word from God. Go back and tell him, I'm going to give him 15 more years. You got to know that you're hearing from God. And if you're not sure, there are people who can help you.
Amen.
Amen.
No rhema shall be impossible. No rhema shall be. What Mary was hearing was an impossibility. In the natural. Because she said to him, she said, how can these things be? Seeing that, in King James Version, it says, seeing that I know not a man. I ain't been down that path. I haven't done that. So how can I be pregnant? You're pregnant because the rhema says so.
Yes.
And no rhema shall be impossible. Right? No rhema shall be. Now let me ask you this. What has the rhema said in your situation? What has the rhema said in your situation? And you must know that if it comes out of the rhema, no rhema shall be impossible with God. No rhema. Okay?
We hope you enjoyed this message and were blessed by it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook for more ministry and information.